we have a dribble. So you're seeing this with me. Look at that for a slime fest. Yeah, I think this is going to become my overwhelm hack. Hello and welcome to July on my allotment plot. We're going to take you a tour around just to see the progress that we've made so far. It is a brand new allotment site and a brand new allotment plot in Lincolnshire, and I've had it for a couple of months now, coming into I think the third month. So I've had to build everything from scratch and start from fresh. So we'll see where we are in the allotment plot progress. Now I don't know what's happened to the sunshine because it's like we've had a week of it and Mary Poppins is blowing up a gust of storm. So it's a little bit windy today and it's already rained this morning. It was raining yesterday. So yeah, I'm not sure what's happening to the summer. But let's start the tour. This eventually will be my entrance. At the moment I'm coming in just here, but it's on sort of the list of things. I want to change this netting out and put some pallets, make a pallet fence I think, so it's just going to be one of those slow progress things, but the idea is to have a bed either side of the gate and probably an archway of some sort with something climbing up it, roses maybe. So that's that part, that's the entrance. Over to the right hand side, if I turn around, right, so the right of the entrance. So to the right of the entrance I have my little, what will be the wildlife area. I've put a small pond in there. I'm not sure if I'm getting evaporation or if there is a slight hole or a leak in the ground sheet. It is double layered, so I'm wanting to think it's evaporation. So I might have to take all that off and just put another layer in just for argument's sake and test it. We then have a bird feeding station, and this lot eventually will have plants and it'll progress, but that's as far as we've got with that. Some ground sheet down so I can keep on top of the weeds because this plot loves to grow grass. That's one thing I can grow. Now from the main entrance you can walk along this path, and to the right I have some sweet peas in there, some beetroot and some strawberries. And this is a watering system that I'm testing right now. They're like water spikes, and you fill the bottles up, which obviously need refilling, but I'm just trialling that at the moment. The sweet peas are doing really well. Back over to the path. These are just at the moment dead beds. There's no sort of plans for these. I've kind of just left them there because I managed to acquire some of these pallet collars off somebody. And then I can turn right, and this is my summer house. And next to the summer house is my little water station, which is progressing. That's what all this is about, because I filled that up today. You can see my water line. I've put this new tap on it, which hopefully I can fix a hose pipe to, which will then help me water the plants. And I'm thinking, my kind of guess is that once this is filled up, the pressure of the water will help the hose pipe work. So I'm kind of on a mission to fill it up now. I do have around this side some guttering that needs to go up on my summer house. I need a new window. It's all a work in progress. It's second-hand summer house, but yeah, so I need a new window. So in front of the summer house this is a pumpkin bed. The pumpkins are not doing too great at the minute. Something keeps either pulling them out or chewing at the stems, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. But I have on order, which I think should be coming today, 2 arches, so that I can have some pumpkin archways over there. And then come back out and along here. These are 5 new beds that I've put in to kind of help combat the grass again at the moment. I've fixed them up. There's no plans for them yet. I'm kind of not filling them, but they're up and they're sort of in place a little bit. They need still shifting around a little bit and past putting around them, but they're up and ready to go when I'm ready to fill them. On this side there is another 5 beds, and this first bed has Brussels, so there's a load of Brussels. Hopefully we'll get some, well, at least 1 plant for Christmas. That's the plan, that's what I'm aiming for. And in this part at the front I did put some cauliflowers in, but they got eaten, so I've re-netted it because I put some, it had originally some scaffold netting around it and it wasn't the best, so I bought some of this netting and they look like they're doing a lot better. I've left them in just to fingers crossed and hope that something comes of them. Some of them are a little bit eaten, but yeah, we'll see how they go on. And then there's four other beds down along here that are yet to be filled. Some of them have got manure in. Looks like I've had a mole come and visit, because that was not there before. That's a molehill. This bed I'm planning on filling half of it today, but I'll get round to that in a little while. That is why that structure is there in the middle. Over in that corner is what will be the composting area, and over here is my polytunnel. Have a look inside the polytunnel. In my polytunnel we have some brilliant tomatoes growing. Those are honeycomb. Then we have a beef eater. Those two are money makers that one of my plot neighbours gave to me. And over there we have green, yellow, red peppers and a chilli pepper. But, so you're seeing this with me. Look at that for a slime fest. I'm going to have to think about putting some protection around them. I did not realise that whatever it is, slugs or snails, like peppers and chilies, because they're everywhere. Definitely going to have to think about protection around these, because that is not good. A couple more moneymaker plants. These did wilt a lot in the heat wave that we had, and I've managed to bring them back round, albeit some of them are a little bit brown, but they've stood upright and they're sprouting again, so hopefully I've saved those. There's a few things growing on this side, and by the looks of it, snails and the slugs have found that too. Look at that, that was flowering. That's been decimated. Buggers. There are a few more sweet peppers and chili peppers. Contingencies. I'm gonna have to fill these up. I've obviously already filled these up yesterday, and it's already been taken up by the plants. These are still growing, but the sweet corn, they really need to go out, to be fair, but I'm not sure if they're going to survive. I think some of these have just gone. I've kind of just left them in there. I mean, that one seems to be growing, and that one seems to be growing. That one seems to... I might just whack them in somewhere and see what happens. A little bit frazzled, but we'll see. This was what's left of my beetroot. And these my mum gave me. We went to visit my mum at the weekend. Ed's Tom's is my uncle, who is also on a mission to find a particular tomato that he remembers tasting that tasted absolutely fantastic. So my mum went to visit him in Spain because he has an apartment out there with his wife, and she ended up coming back with a hell of a lot of tomato seeds that he'd harvested out of tomatoes, because he's on such a mission to find a particular tomato. So these are what they are. Hopefully I can keep those alive. We have some butternut squash. So I might put these in where the pumpkins were and maybe net them and see how they get on. So that is the allotment in July. So that's a whole new month to crack on with getting the plot the way that I want it. Doing a little bit of trial and error with some plants while I'm at it. I have no sort of knowledge or skill set when it comes to growing anything. This is completely new to me, so we're just gonna trial and error. I'm just gonna see what we can grow, and hopefully we can get some harvests from it for the family and kind of enjoy it at the same time. The allotment has kind of become a project to help me get out of the house, because I don't leave very often, and this kind of forces me to do that. It's also sort of a mental health project and an ADHD sort of project, so If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and follow along with the journey and see the progress of the plot and how we get on and what we learn as we go along. So you would have seen in my plot tour that I've sectioned this bed off into two sort of sections, and there is a reason for that, and it's very much related to ADHD, and I think this is going to become my overwhelm hack. Just a bit of a backstory: I got diagnosed with ADHD quite well during lockdown, so very recently still. And once you kind of get that diagnosis, you start assessing the way that you function and or not function, and that helps in sort of finding ways around it and coming up with ideas and tools and methods to help you sort of get along with executive function and overwhelm and things like that. Now, these beds are very, very big, and to fill one bed is about 8 trips to the very beginning of the allotment site with a wheelbarrow to get manure and topsoil and all the rest of it. And honestly, like, it shuts my brain down. And the kind of misconception is that people are lazy, I guess. And what I've come to realise with ADHD, that it isn't actually laziness, it is executive functioning. And once overwhelm kicks in, it kind of shuts you down into a state of not really being able to function. So I'm hoping that if I can do this and just work on doing half a bed at a time, filling it up, that it will help me get around this plot a little bit better and actually get things progressing quicker than what it was before. So I have bought with me a couple of bags of manure from the manure pile right at the beginning of the allotment site. I bagged it up and I put it in the car, I'm not gonna lie. And I've also bought down a bag of compost. Now, I haven't used compost on any of my beds up until this point with this bag now. I've just used the topsoil, but it's very lumpy and it can be very dry when the weather's here. So the compost is a little bit of an experiment for me, and I'm hoping that today we can get something in the ground, such as, I'm not sure yet, carrots maybe. So we're going to fill this bed up, or half of it anyway, so that's the next job. So I've just had to come and hide in the summer house for 10 minutes. So I've did a little bit of a cleaning up while I'm in here because it absolutely chucked it down. While I was in here, I was having a look through my seed box, which is this, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to plant in the new half a bed. So I think we're going to go with some carrots. Have a look. I've got some cabbage, which says I can sow outdoors in July. Kohlrabi, foxgloves, radicchio, what's this? I don't know what this is. Never heard of it. We can sow that out in July. Sure, I found some carrots. I see I've got some carrots. Chantenay red cord number 2. I don't know what this means. I don't know what this jargon means on plant seeds. But a lot of people are saying that we're about a month behind. So I'm going to whack these in and see if they grow. So I think I'm going to do some carrots and some cabbage and see how they get on. Also, I sat in my car for 5 minutes while it was absolutely hammering it down, and I saw not one, two pigeons come down and peck in my pumpkin bed. So I know who the culprits are. So I need to come up with a plan to cover them, I think, for future. Maybe netting them for a little while until they can grow and deter pests. So that's another job now. So outdoors, thinly where they are to crop, 1.5 centimetres, so ½ an inch deep, directly into finely prepared soil, which has already been watered. Well, it's quite wet already. Allow 30 centimetres between rows. Early sow may benefit from cloche protection. Seedlings usually appear within 14 to 21 days. So let's have a go. I don't know how thinly that is because they just go everywhere. Little guy there, look, in the hole. Oh look, here's the sunshine. It's a bit bloody late now. Oh, my back's, I'm gonna have rogue carrots. Question is, do I do a second row? Or do I just do the one? Should I do a second row? About 30 centimetres apart. I apologise if you're screaming at the camera for the way that I'm making a channel. But apparently the idea is to do it in rows so that if anything pops up that isn't in the row, I know is a weed. Apparently. Sowing thin or not thin, no, this is not sowing thinly, guys. I'm trying. Is there a knack to it? I don't know. I've got some spikes so I can label them. I'm not sure I like this pen with this wood because it bleeds. Look at that slug already hiding in the compost. So I'm going to do the cabbage. Now I'm guessing these are going to be quite large cabbages. So I might do two, but a little bit further apart. We need 40 centimetres. So maybe if I just do one line in this part of the bed, and then that means that they're not going to be in the way of the carrots. Let's do that. What if we go in the middle? It's not quite the middle. Okay, cabbage. How big are these? Oh, look how different they are from the carrots, little round balls. I'm mad that that actually grows a cabbage. Is that not mind-blowing? Kind of drop in, I'm guessing at this, a couple in each section rather than all the way across like the carrots, because eventually I have to thin them out and they need a lot of space, so there's no point sowing as many as you would a carrot, I think. That's kind of how my brain's working. So they're my first seeds in the ground on the allotment plot, so that's kind of a massive milestone. Let's just hope they grow now, or we get something. Do I need to cover them, or will they be okay? That's the other question, I'm not quite sure. Maybe I should just cover them for now. So I've netted them using a bit of the scaffold netting that I had originally covered on the brassica bed. It wasn't quite good enough because of how big the bed was as a whole, so I think for now this will be okay on this bed. I've brought down with me just a couple of pieces of oxygenating plant from my pond at home. So not a lot, but so hopefully that will start to spread. Water's looking a little bit green in here, and like I say, the water level's lower, and I'm not sure if that's evaporation or if there's a hole in the liner. It is doubled up, so there's 2 layers to the liner, so I'm not quite sure, but I've put the oxygenators in there. Hopefully they'll help to put some oxygen into the pond. I think I've just got to see how it goes and just keep an eye on it, because it is holding water for quite a while. I think I've only topped it up once, so maybe it is just evaporation. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. So there is one more thing that I want to try before I go, because I've been here for a while, and that is this new tap on here. So I brought down with me a hose. It's only an old one, and it's quite rickety and it does leak. But I just want, out of curiosity's sake, to try, see whether it will do the job. It's got a bit of a crack in it, but let's see. Ooh, okay, turn that one on. Turn that one on. Do we have any water coming out? We have a dribble. I can't lift it too high, otherwise the dribble stops. I think the theory's there. Oh my god, that'd take a decade to water the plants. I think the theory's there, but I think what my problem is, I haven't got enough water in the tank in the first place to give the pressure that it needs. So I've only got it up to there, and it's a 1,000 litre container. So I think the more water that's in here, the pressure that comes out with the hose will be a lot better, so it might be a little bit more efficient. But for now I think it's just going to have to be a watering can job up until I can get some more water in this tank and get my guttering put up. But the theory's there and I've tried it. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog today. We've had a tour of the allotment plot in July to see the progress of what's happening. We've planted some carrots and some cabbages and put some oxygenators in the pond. So I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Leave comments, suggestions and advice in the comments below, because that's always welcome. And I shall see you again soon. So until next time, bye for now.